There it goes. All right, guys.
Talk shoes. Recorded live.
Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you may be across the nation or around the world. Once again, you are listening to the VMware Community's Roundtable Podcast. Today is September 11th, 2024, Wednesday. It's time for Podcast Day. I'm Eric Nielsen, and my co-host is Julia Klaus. Corey Romero is on vacation, but we got Julia here. We're fresh off VMware Explore in Vegas, and we've got Tony Foster and Frankie and Barragan. We're all going to just do a community roundtable and talk about what we take away from Explore. But before we do that, let's do a little bit of the news. A little bit of the news is that Explore Europe is coming up, and we're excited about that. So everything you hear us talk about today is going to be done at Explore in Europe as well. That's coming up, and I think Content Calendar goes live next week, Julia. If I remember right, I think we got Content Calendar going live for Explore in
on the 18th,
Barcelona. Right? What date is it?
September 18th.
All right, so the 18th, which is next week sometime. Yeah, a week from today, week from Friday, I guess. What is today? Wednesday, a week from Thursday. Okay. So that's coming up. So we're excited about that. We're excited about, doing Explore in Europe. A lot of European people are happy. If you haven't registered yet, get over there and register. Plenty of space, good hotels. It's in Barcelona again, same thing. We're going to be there. We're going to be, the community booth is going to be there again. We're going to have dual theaters, code and community, and the labs, the code labs, talking about ChatGPT and PowerShell. We learned quite a bit doing those labs in the US, so they should actually be better in Europe because we got some feedback, more complicated PowerShell tasks. So we're going to do a little of that. That should be good. And I think that's all we got. Other than that, it's been a busy last month. I don't think we've done a podcast in a month because it's not it was busy, but doing Europe, doing everything. So let's get started. Julia, how's the weather in Fort Lauderdale, Florida? Because I think that's where you're at.
In Florida, as always, it's very hot. We're almost 100 degrees today. So
wow.
You don't have AC at home here?
I thought it only got 100 in like Arizona or something like that. I didn't realize it was going to be 100 down in Florida as well. That's quite toasty. And the humidity must get right. Okay, well, on the show we also have Frankie and Tony. I'll go to Tony first. Tony, how's it going? You went to Explore. What'd you think of Explore this year?
I'm doing great, and Explorer was fantastic. There was a ton of good conversation and a ton of good content at Explorer this year. I was really, really pleased with the outcomes and all the different things I got to take away.
Nice. And Frankie Barragan, you ran the hackathon. You were also running the code sessions. Your takeaway from another Explorer, I know you've been to at least one other one that I know of. I don't know how many this is for you, but what was your takeaway? And you're muted. There you go.
Yeah, no, so I think I've been to 9 non-Explorer / VMworlds, right, as a customer partner and as an employee now. But yeah, no, I every single time, right? Every single time, it's about the community, and nothing surprises me more than seeing the technical sessions, right? The actual technical sessions where people show up and want to learn stuff, and those are so popular, and people love it. So yeah, it was nice to see new faces too, and yeah, just reconnect with the community. Love it. The hackathon was great too. So we got some first timers. Great stuff.
Cool. So Julia, I know you kind of ran the community booth with the 2 theaters and the code lab sessions, and I was doing the lab sessions. You trended. I think you trended. We got a social media report, and you were like in the top 3 of people that trended on social. And it was mostly the pictures of all the stuff going on in the booth. I felt like the booth was the happening place to be. The community booth was the happening place to be this year at the event.
Yes, Eric. I had a feeling that everybody who was at the Explorer and touched our booth at some point who went to see us, because we have through the booth for our mats and our scanners, over 4,000 people. But the ones who didn't scan, I'm sure they asked around, talked to us. So that was very successful this year. The booth was crowded all the time. All the sessions, 48 sessions on code, for 48 sessions on the community quick talks. They're all the time as well, so busy. We had overflow in many of the sessions. The community coming to chat in front of the booth as well. The sentiment of the community, as Tony mentioned, the conversations. Was a smaller event. We targeted smaller. We had reasons, and I was really pleased to see that our community is still there. And of course, we can talk more, but I had so many takeaways talking to everybody again and seeing that our legacy community is still there. New faces as well, super curious, interested in learning how to be part of the community. I had a great time, and I was missing this, and I haven't been last year, but
yeah, I would say it was the heartbeat of what I'd call the show, right? Even though when you go into the cafeteria, there were a ton of people. 5,500, people came to the event, which was, good. And given that we didn't invite the EUC people, right? Like Omnissa wasn't really there, then, that's actually a really good turnout, right? And although it was busy in the community booth, when you go to the cafeteria, there's literally miles of tables, it feels like. I had to walk. I always got there late, and so I'd have to walk like 5 blocks down and it's just people after people. So you really don't get a sense of how many people 5,000 plus are until you actually see 5,000, right? That's one thing. That's one key takeaway I would say, is that the attendance was great. I felt like it was a conference for adults, right? People that really wanted to learn, people that weren't just there to party, right? Like the expo hall was light because they had kind of blown up the partner ecosystem. And Hawk had said that he could have done a better job, with the partner ecosystem transition, and they're still working through that. And so the expo center didn't have a lot of the traditional big partners, but they're working through that. And what that meant was you didn't have a lot of partner marketers running around, and you didn't have a lot of partner marketing companies, running around as well. So that meant that the community booth was the kind of fun place to be, right? And the people that were there were pretty serious. VCDX 181 runs Big Home Labs, people that had enterprises that they were running VCF. They were talking about VCF. It was a fairly technical conference this time. And in the old days, I used to go to Unix Expo, and see technical conference on Unix in the old days. And this, they were all geeky, pretty heavy, serious technical. They weren't a bunch of party beer drinkers. And I would say that this conference had that vibe. It had a little bit more of a serious vibe to it, which I got a sense.
Yes,
and for that, sorry.
If you consider that was the first year after the acquisition, when you're still resetting our partnership ecosystem, it has been not even 18 months after the acquisition. So we were concerned in March when we started to plan all of it. And we had like over 5,000 people. I think it was a very good outcome. And we were excited for next year. And that's what Brock also mentioned, that he acknowledged that he could have done a better job with our partnership environment. And of course, we are working on that, and I see the company working as well on bringing more partners for the next year. So I believe that next year will be stronger, way stronger. Well, I think this was the down curve of the U, if I guess, because we are still now resetting partnership, making changes that will benefit the whole community as well. So I just see it coming up from now, and I'm being very optimistic on that.
Frankie, you were going to add something?
Yeah, and how you touched right with the smaller amount of marketing too, and that was a big push as we were working with the content team to schedule sessions, right? In both of our theaters, that hey, you know what, we marketing, right? And it's a testament, right? Where just to show the community that the team here, the internal team, is listening and reading all the reviews that people are sending in, right? And like it's less marketing, more teach us, and that's what we focused on. And yeah, we had the backing of a business, so it made it nice and easy. So it was great.
And
I'd like to make a quote for the. Go ahead.
I was just going to add on to what Frankie said. Being a presenter who presented in both the communities booth, the code booth, and as a breakout session, it was very evident that the people who were in attendance were there to learn. And that really came through on Thursday. I had the last breakout session of the day, and our room was more than half full, which is insanely good for the last session of the last day.
Yeah, I would say that some of the last session of the community booth was also, full, right? So people hung out there for the show, got their content. Tony Foster, what did you think of the vSphere 9 announcement and any kind of buzz around that?
So I'm really excited about vSphere 9. Being a V expert, I've known about it for a little while, but there's a good buzz about it. And there are a lot of new features that I personally am looking forward to. Those who know me know I love GPUs and everything. And a lot of the new GPU features that are being incorporated into the 9.0 release are really exciting. So those who have played with the new GPU fling that came out here about a month ago, you're going to see those features incorporated into 9.0, it sounds like, and even more. So it's one of those things I'm really excited about. I know a lot of the people in the community that I circulate with were buzzing about that. And then just some of the other nice features that are out there that are going to enhance the product and really help make it better for enterprises to manage their virtualization environment.
Yeah, it was just nice to hear us talk about new technology as well and moving the company forward and delivering that. And I think that's making a difference. I know that we made our numbers, our sales numbers, and all that. For Q3, we announced our earnings; they're all good, and so we're happy about that. We're happy about the fact that the product vision is coming together, and big customers are coming and engaging with us. So I like that. I got to listen to Hawk talk at the VMUG board meeting. He came to the VMUG board meeting and talked to us about, on-prem. His message was, those people that went to the cloud were premature, right? That and I've always said this, I don't know if you guys have ever heard me tell the story of, I feel like when we did the VMC and AWS and connecting to AWS and the cloud story, I felt like we were just building a massive bridge from our island to the mainland. And we thought, oh, that'll be good. Well, we now, our island called VMware is now connected to the cloud mainland. And I was always like, yeah, this is just going to have everybody get their semi trucks and load up their houses and move away, right? Because maybe they just actually want to live on the mainland. They don't want to live on our happy island. And so I felt like we were connecting people to leave, right? And if you look at Hawk, he actually kind of believes like, yeah, we actually compete with the cloud, right? We are an on-prem data center driven solution. We like the technology. We like AI on-prem. And so he's kind of doubling down on vSphere, and vSphere 9 is part of that. VCF, the whole thing, easy button. Because everybody complained, oh, we're forcing you to buy NSX and vSAN all bundled together in this thing called VCF, right? And he's right. But on the other hand, if you put it all together and make it all work as one, and you can just install it and it's just there and works, then what do I care, right? It's like, I want that. I want those features. I do want better networking. I do want better firewall. I do want, better storage. I want virtual storage. And the only reason I currently don't use any of that is because I got vSphere. I install it. I use it, right? I don't have time to go figure out vSAN and figure out NSX. And if it just installed and worked together when I installed, vSphere, sure, I'd probably use it. But because it doesn't, and it's got multiple consoles, then I don't use it, right? And now maybe the pricing is more or less. I get that. I get that argument, but I do like the idea of the integration, which is what vSphere 9 is, Tony. So that's my take.
Oh, absolutely. And I'm gonna get in my way back time machine. Eric, I don't know if you remember this. I certainly remember this back in the ESX 2.0 days. So, like I said, way back time is machine.
That's just a little bit before
Good.
me. Right.
Okay.
I
But
started on 3.
when vCenter was first introduced, there was a lot of the same thing going on. We just need ESX. We just install it and it works, and that's all we need. And now you're adding this vCenter thing into the mix, and you're muddying the water and stuff. Now, can you imagine doing virtualization without a vCenter?
Right. Yeah, exactly. Right. Any kind of new piece of software, any kind of new, and then pricing gets a little more expensive because it's a little more complicated, but you got way more features, right? Like you got vMotion, managed servers, load balancing across your workloads, right? It gives you features, no question. So the vSphere 9 was a big announcement. That's fun. And now for Europe, if you're going to come to explore Europe, I think you'll get more sessions and more information about it because now it's announced, right? And we can schedule and talk a little bit more about that. Frankie, we did the hackathon. The hackathon I thought had heartbeat this year, right? I think the room was better. I think that we had some teams. I showed up and tried to do some stuff. We had ChatGPT all over the place. So honestly, I think the hackathon was not as good as the Europe one last year, because the Europe one was really fun, because it had good food, an external location. But it was from making it happen in Vegas, it wasn't bad.
Yeah, and one thing I try to teach my kids, right, is not to compare themselves or what they do to something else. Yes, it's good sometimes, but like with the hackathon, every single time you attack it, I think it is something brand new, and you want to bring a brand new experience and want to attract new people too. And I think we hit the mark there. Yeah, as I walked around the room, yeah, there were people there that honestly were like sitting there, and it was like, oh hey, and me, I'm a social little butterfly. So I walked over and said, hey, what's going on? What are we hacking on? And we're like, oh, we're honestly here for a beer and to see what this is all about. And yes, and then we got to explain what it was, and it was nice to see brand new faces that wanted just to honestly hang out with the community and be part of the community on a Monday night and didn't want to go out and party, right? So yeah, we had beers, we had some croissants, we had food and snacks, and definitely a lot of very intelligent people in the room. And how you said you were showing the ChatGPT thing, and then we had walk-ins, and it's just right. Yeah, we want to have those building blocks and to make it even better next year. Yeah, but the room was beautiful. I walked into the room the day before the event and did a walkthrough, and it was beautiful. Yeah,
and everybody got their hackathon T-shirts, so that was good, right? Nice deal. I want to flip back to Julia for a minute. Julia, at the booth, we actually, for the first time, had the vMug booth in the community area in the hub, and it seemed like it was pretty busy. What were you guys doing that it made it so busy?
It was Juliana from vMug and Jean that were running that booth, and it was nice to see they were giving there was a gamification. That if you visit our booth, you'd get some points. But all the attendees who went to the booth, they got there for the gamification and then stayed because they just enjoyed to chat about the vMug and all the meetings and what vMug has been doing. And they got a lot of new vMug members this year, Eric.
Yeah, I think they picked up 570. But the thing I was getting at is that we were also giving out really cool jackets and T-shirts, right, as part of the booth experience, right? So when people came, there were some of these McLaren stuff that they were giving away, right, which we're not really allowed to market, but there was a lot of activity around around everybody getting McLaren shirts, right? Which I thought was a fun, exciting thing to have as well.
The McLaren shirts and the Legos, they were given from our VMware community booth, from the whole community. It was not specific for VMUG, but they're giving really cool hats, and I saw those, and I didn't get one, but
Is
I
that a
love-
VMUG hat? What was that hat?
it was
What
a
was
VMUG hat. It was a
Ah,
VMUG
all right.
hat.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
we gave away over 500 McLaren t-shirts and over 250 Legos away for people who visited our booth and wanted to be part of the gamification and do some hashtags, and post about the experience. And it was a very great engagement.
Oh yeah, this is
we're
why
pulling
you
the numbers
trended.
yesterday.
I forgot you were giving away Legos if they would social media and put Julia Klaus on it, right? At Julia Klaus. This is
But
why.
no,
Now I know why you trended. 500
there are
people.
criteria there. The hashtag
Selfies
should
with
be
Julia.
VMware Explore and VMware Community. Those are the criteria. And I
This-
just posted a lot because I wanted to bring people to our booth, and I was posting about everything that was going on. But the
So-
hashtag,
Yeah.
to
Go,
to
Tom.
be honest, somebody who got to walk around and see a lot of different stuff, the best giveaways were in the community space, hands down. You had the standard little tchotchkes that you get out on the show floor,
Mhm.
but the cool stuff, the stuff people wanted, was in the community space. So hats off to y'all for actually being in tune and knowing what would excite the community as far as giveaways and stuff.
Yeah, that was good. And people say, bro, Broadcom's cheap, but actually they're not cheap. We had stuff there. They actually had a Broadcom store as well, and there was gamification that if you went around and did other things, you could go back to a big store like you do, turn in your chips to go get other things, right? So there was quite a bit of stuff to do when you were bored, right? And who wants to rate the food? I'll give you my rating of the food, but Tony, what did you think of the food?
I was impressed. And pro tip for you, Eric, instead of going downstairs to get food and having to go through hundreds and hundreds of rows of tables, go into the expo and hit the food in the corner of the expo.
Oh,
It
do they
was-
have food in there? Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes, they had all of the lunches and stuff that you
Yeah.
got downstairs, just
In the
tucked
expo.
away in the back corner of the expo.
That would have
And-
saved me a million miles of walking for sure.
Uh-huh. And I was thoroughly impressed with the food.
I thought
I-
it was good. It was hot food. It was good food. You had either chicken or beef or something with vegetables and potatoes and bread roll and soup. So it's classic Vegas fare. Nice
Yes.
enough.
and was
And
tasty.
I've been
And
going
healthy.
since 2008, and this food is on par with 2008, 2009, 2010
The
VMworld.
Vegas food. Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought the San Francisco food was never that good because they would give lunch boxes, but Vegas food always
Cold
give you hot.
sandwich.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. So here's my complaint, and anybody can jump in on the food too. Like my only complaint was they didn't have anything to drink but water. Like there was no sodas. Like usually they have this refrigerator. You could go get a Coke or a Pepsi or Diet Coke, and caffeinate yourself up. There was none of that.
I didn't have that problem going to the one in the back of the Solutions Exchange. They had soda back there.
Really?
Really?
Oh.
Whole tables of it.
Didn't have soda down in the lunch area. When you went to the lunch area, there was basically just water, right? Flavored water. Not even flavored, just like water with some lemonade slices in it, and that was it. Somebody brought me a Diet Coke at
You
one
got
point.
all the information next time, Tony.
Yeah.
We'll hook you up. We'll hook you
Yeah,
up.
I guess so. Now the other thing we had is we had the vExpert / vMug / Tanzu community party. it was only the VMUG leaders as well as the vExperts, and so I think we had 150 people there. I don't know if Tony, if you showed up to that or not. Were you invited to that one?
Yes, yes. I was there for the entirety of it. It was a really good social event. Got to talk with some of the people that just weren't coming past the community theater, which is where I spent a lot of my time. So got to talk to them, got to talk with Hawk. It was a really good time and a lot of information sharing and discussion about stuff.
Julia,
So-
what did you think?
Okay, that was what I found really interesting was when Hawk talked and he opened the microphone for the community, because I feel that was the first time that Hawk faced the community face to face. Like, tell me what you're thinking. Just go ahead. And he put himself there. And I found that that was really important for the ice break in the community and to show the community that he's listening and he's open to that. And I think that was great. And I think the community felt listened and that Broadcom care about what they have to say. And at the end of the day, community, we're all people. We want to be listened. We want to know that even though things are not great for some times, they're listening, they're working on our concerns. And I felt that was a really good reset for this relationship. And I think it bounded more Broadcom and the VMware community. That was my takeaway. I think it was a good synergy. We felt that when you asked, do you want a picture, and everybody say, yeah. Like, it was nice to watch that. It was a good feeling. Very good feeling on that.
Yeah, no, I'm with Tony. Yeah, I love that Hawk was there, right? Yeah, and he did his thing, and he put himself out there, right? And yeah, there is no, everything's out the window at that point, right? You're there, you have a microphone, and then when you hand off a microphone to somebody else, or you just you're out there by yourself, right? But I got to meet some brand new community members that I had never met before, and that was really, really cool. I got to practice some Spanish and a little bit of Portuguese too with some of the people. Oh man, it's beautiful to meet all these people from around the world, and not be in sales, right? And not be in quote unquote sales, and like ask them, hey, you know what? I was a VMUG leader back in the day as well, and I'm part of the community just like you. Yeah, please give me some honest feedback. What do you think? And yeah, and it is nice to be able to hear that honesty from the community, and yes, and I will gladly let people know, the proper people know what was said, but yeah, no, it was great. I like the setting as well, right? You can see the strip going on, and it was a little hot out there, not gonna lie, but yeah, being underneath the little water thing, and it was great. Yeah.
The thing that struck me about community now under the Broadcom umbrella and Hawk coming there and spending a half an hour talking to people and engaging. He was a little bit more direct than Pat Gelsinger. When Pat Gelsinger used to come, he'd just walk around and take selfies and chat with people. But Hawk actually got up with the microphone and actually addressed issues, right? And then let people ask him questions. And somebody asked questions about education licensing and upgrading licensing and, really, really, to the point questions. And he just addressed them. And a couple of them said, yeah, we'll fix that. Here's my email address. Send me email and, I'll go get that fixed. That sounds like a bug, right? So I think he's very much a business oriented, business first. He said that in a meeting this morning. He's like, we focus on business, right? We're not like a party company. We don't have epic values. We're not a green energy company. We focus on business and business needs. And if you want to go have time to have fun, playing ping pong and flip cup and whatever other things you want to do, that's not Broadcom culture. Broadcom culture is to get together and solve business. And the reason he liked community, and he called out community in this meeting, is that he said community solves problems, right? Community helps each other solve problems. So I think community might take a slightly different tone over the next 5 years at Broadcom, in that he loves it. He's very supportive of it, but it's also less about partying together and more about working together, right? To share information and teach each other, and engage with each other on elements that enable business. He's a very business focused person, so big parties and gatherings so that we can all meet and share things, great. Spending money playing pinball all night, I don't think he wants to really do that. I think he wants to get people together to solve problems. And I think he said that about Explore. The reason he funded Explore and kept Explore going is that, it's 6,000 IT practitioners who want to learn from each other. And why wouldn't I do that? So I think there's a tone difference. And Tony, you said, very technical. People were serious there. And that's what I noticed with what community will probably be for Broadcom, VMware by Broadcom, is focused on helping people thrive in their professional career and implementing technologies inside their own company.
And
That's my
it
2
helps
cents.
the company and helps the community as well, because while they give us some support reflection, helping each others, they also learn directly, make network, and improve their careers. So I think it's two-end, two sides advantage that, and he understands that in fostering communities is going to help the growth.
But I think he's also coming around to the idea that community is fun, right? I think he is. There's a little bit of that where I saw him at that party and he kind of had told jokes and made everybody laugh, and he was getting into it as well. So I think there might be a little bit of him, pure business, but then there is a little bit of, camaraderie that might go on there. So
his people side, the community synergy.
Frankie, do you remember what team won the hackathon?
Yes, there was a VRA. It was a team. The team captain was Stefan McTeef. He's out from the UK, and they ran Terraform code to run VRA. Yes, and so the obvious question came in afterwards when they presented, like why would you do that when VRA is the automation thing? Why would you want to automate it? And so this will be very brief. So with Terraform, right, you can if it's an infrastructure as code tool, and if you leverage everything that VRA has, and it allows you to automate things way faster than having you enter the code and everything to build your NSX, you build your networking, deploy your host. Yeah, you take advantage of everything within VRA, and so that's what they did. They had an all-star team too, and I just spoke to Stefan yesterday actually, and he's going to keep on working on the project, and he's going to be a team captain. He may change projects, but he's going to be a team captain over in Barcelona as well. So yeah,
Fantastic.
definitely looking forward to that.
Yeah, fantastic. So that gets us to Barcelona, right? And what's going on there. And one of the things for Code Labs, we did question how many in the Code Labs have used ChatGPT before, and 75% of the people have raised their hand. All right, so 25% hadn't. And then how many had used it to write PowerShell, right? And about 50% of the people had raised their hand. So it's like, okay. Obviously, Code Labs introducing people to that and then getting them warmed up, that's only really addressing about half the people. Then we asked how many people use the API for ChatGPT to be able to write your own app that would then interact with an AI and then process that. And nobody raised their hands. So, okay, we have, discovered that there were some things that people already knew, and then there were some new things that people really wanted to learn. And so we're going to tweak the labs for that, for Explore Europe, so that they get a little bit more in depth when it comes to using the API, and so that should be good. I think we're doing the rest of the booth. Julia, we got everything that we're going there, except I hear we're going to be in the expo hall.
Yes,
No more hub.
we're going to be in the expo hall. A little bit of different hours this year, but we get to engage to everybody who is going to the expo as well, targeting us because it's going to be a smaller event. So I think it'd be nice for us because we get expo audience. But Eric, I'll give it back to you. What do you think about us being in the expo this year?
I think it's great. because I think they're going to make the expo hall kind of like a hub, right? Where the expo hall in Vegas was kind of empty because they didn't have that many partners because the partner ecosystem was all blown up. So it was kind of like the hub was good. We were busy. The VMware Rewards program, that area was busy. But then other areas like the Cube and some of the video things, they were all right. But it seemed like a pretty big hall with not that crowded. And if you went into the expo hall, it was a giant hall. It wasn't that crowded. So you could actually build everybody together, right? Where you've got community and the venue and the good food in the corner and everything else. And it might actually be a funner party place to be because you can hang with some vendors, then you can pop over, hang with the community. You can get free stuff from the vendors and you can get free stuff from us. And so pulling all that together, I think is actually a good move. I have no problem with it whatsoever. And I've done it in the past. Unfortunately, I think we carve off 2 hours. They open at 10 instead of 9, and there's not much we can do about that. So it'll be a little bit shorter, but I think it'll be fun. I think it'll be good. I think we'll have people there. To Tony's point, we'll be part of the hall crawl, right? And back in 2008, 2009, that's where the very first community booth, when me and Tony Dunn decided to do, it was vmworld.com, and we made t-shirts that said vmworld.com open 24 hours a day, VMworld 365 days a year. And we had a cute little pavilion that your little avatar could walk around. Tony remembers maybe that stuff. So we built up a whole little online, and then me and Tony Dunn had cool t-shirts made. And then we were in the expo hall, right? And we had like a little area with sofas and couches and a couple pedestals where we could demo the online community. And then we gave away t-shirts that anybody went through a demo. And it was fun because you're in the thick of it. It's a much more vibrant place in the expo hall than when you're in like the community hub, right? So Tony, I don't remember if you remember any of that, but
very much so, yes, because that was one of my first community presentations. Fiber channel over token ring. What was his name? Shoot, I can't think of it. Community member gone by. But yes, I remember being in the
the big expo
Solutions Exchange, in the expo.
Yeah, that's what they called it back then, Solutions.
And having those conversations and going, hey, Tony, we're about to go and do this presentation. We're going to record it and put it on YouTube.
Right.
And get in here.
Yeah.
So, I remember those. I have the shirt somewhere from that first or VMworld, because it was the first one I went to when you were doing that. Yes.
Yeah. Yep. And so that's where we started, and we didn't actually transition into a hub until somebody came out with the hang space, which they put fake grass down. I don't know if you ever went to that one where it was all grass and we had a massive social media screen, and then we were in that area in what was like a grassy with the chessboard, the big chessboards and all that. And then that was in front of the expo. So you'd walk through this grass area, and it was kind of like a hangout, indoor, outdoor, because it was in Vegas. It was inside. But they made it a big grass area with the artificial grass everywhere, deep grass too, not the cheap felt kind of stuff. And that was a lot of fun. And that changed, like, all of a sudden we have a hub, or we have the village. We called it the village. But it made community less about all the solutions and more about just hanging out, right? And so that's where, and then after that, we eventually added theaters, right? Like I remember the first time we added a theater with John Troyer and them, making the theater. So anyway, it's all evolved. So I'm happy about it, Julia. That's a long answer to your question of, what do I think about being in the expo hall? I think it's fine. I think it's actually going to be funner than in previous years, right?
Because I know you have been there before, and I was not there by that time. That was interesting to hear the whole background on that story. And then, that being said, we're being the expo, but you're not cutting any of the fun. We're having the the whole setup that we had to Vegas. We already
Right.
signed the final for floor plan. And I have the 2 theaters, the bloggers table, the front desk for the VMware community, and also the VMUG booth at the side. So we're gonna have plenty activities,
And I
hackathon,
know,
party, everything that we had in US.
I don't know, Frankie. You know, we've got the same venue that we're booking for the hackathon. That will be the one that had the good
Yeah, the paella.
paella. That was it, right? Yummy paella, hanging out, kind of a chill space. I love that space. That was a good hackathon space. So should be able to have fun there again this year, and that'll be great, right?
Gotta find a way to join the team then.
Yeah. So if you're listening to this and you're in Europe, you should come hang with us. Sign up for the hackathon. Do we know what day the hackathon's going to be?
I need to confirm. Yeah.
We think it's Monday, right? But we don't know that for a fact. I know that the VMUG is having a gathering for leaders and the experts again on Sunday night. So we'll have a Sunday night gig that we'll be busy at, which I'm trying to open up to make it more of an open invite instead of just leaders. So we'll see how that goes. So we got Monday night as the hackathon. And then I don't think we have anything scheduled for Tuesday night because we're going to do the community party on Sunday night. That's kind of like a kickoff to the event. And then Tuesday, I think it's going to be open. And then Wednesday's the main party. And so, yeah, that's looking good.
Tuesday and Monday. We're between those 2 days. But we'll put an announcement there. Frank has been working on it.
Yeah. So all in all, I thought the event was good. I thought the content was good. I thought the sessions were good. The divisions, the Tanzu division has been hitting on all cylinders. They're doing well. ANS, which is something network and security. I don't know how to say one of applications network and securities. That division is doing well. They're present. Then we have VCF. They're doing great and they're present. So I think all in all, the divisions for VMware are all present, doing well, have sessions. Yeah. I believe for Vegas, they even had Spring 1 sessions.
Yeah, they run some sessions. I believe it was around 30. I was not in there, but they had a nice theater. And I had the chance to pass by a few times, and they had a good audience as well. Not sure if they're repeating on Barcelona because it's the whole area, but yes, we had at Explore US.
Yeah, nice.
One other thing that they had at the in the hub area that I thought was cool was Pete Fletcher. So his podcast section was over on the opposite side. So I walked over early in the morning before the doors were open to the public, and I tried to catch him. I think I've only met him once. But yeah, no, everything was set up. It was just cool, right? Just for the community to walk through and see, the Spring Theater, just everything that's going on, and with the HOLs in the background. Yeah, but thanks to Tony with the pro tip about the food and stuff like that. Yeah, definitely next year.
Yep. The Cube, John Furrier, he was also there doing interviews. So there was interviews, there was podcasts, everything there, right?
The experts was busy as well for most of time, for what I saw, and then of course the rewards.
The store was busy. A lot of the stuff that was there Monday, you could not get your hands on come Wednesday afternoon. It was sold out.
Yeah, I talked to our manager who runs the customer community team, and they said that they sold $16,000 worth of merchandise or something like that. So they're busy the whole time, right? And I got to say, I got a Broadcom branded, jacket out of the deal, right? So there you go, my first official black and red and white Broadcom gear. Like is interesting to turn that corner a little bit, just because they want us to kind of see ourselves as Broadcom, right? Like Broadcom, VMware by Broadcom, but we're basically Broadcom that's doing VMware stuff, right? So we are the Broadcom people. And even this morning when we were in a meeting with Hawk Tan, our CEO, I got to ask him a question. I asked him, like, on the AI chips, that we're doing, because Broadcom does AI chips, right, to compete against NVIDIA, and, are we going to have fab issues when it comes to delivering these chips? Because GPUs are scarce right now, right? And they have supply issues for GPUs. And I was just curious what his answer would have been for fab issues for the Broadcom chips that do AI. So they have custom silicon AI, right? And he goes, no, TSMC does all our manufacturing, and they got plenty of fab capability now, so we're not going to be impacted by any kind of fab issues, right? So he's like, the answer, no. But the point is, Broadcom is Broadcom. They have Broadcom gear at the store. They had VMware gear at the store, VMware by Broadcom at the store. And to your point, Tony, it was crowded, and there were lines, right, to buy stuff. So that's kind of cool. So we march on, right? We march on as always, because the tech is good. They're investing in 9. Everything, makes it there. The sessions were great. Speakers were great. So, we'll get back on the social media chain and start promoting the Europe Barcelona sessions, because they're going to be great as well. And a lot of great people in Europe, a lot of great architects and technicians. So we should have some really good content from them as well. Any last words, Julia, Frankie, Tony, with regard to your Explore experience? Any final thoughts?
Can't wait to do it next year.
Exactly. I know you're working. The show can't stop. We're working to make VMware Explore Barcelona a great show to everybody, a nice space for our community. And for those, I want to also have to talk a little bit, just say a thank you for those who could not attend. Because when I say that our community, VMware Explore is the time of the year where we have the chance of all of us gathering and go and learn. But the community is running the whole year. On our online community, we have daily so many contributions, people asking for help, and other community members helping. Also, the Experts program, the code coaches, they're presenting sessions monthly. So it's the whole year that the community is happening. Many of those members could not be there for various reasons. And I wanted to say thank you to them as well, not only the ones that were there present. And of course, the stakeholders that worked behind the scenes as well to make it happen. It could not attend. It was not only us that were there.
You bring up a good point, which is we did live stream both the community quick talks as well as the code talks, and those are out on YouTube, right? Or we've live streamed that on YouTube. And so even though V Brownbag wasn't there, we still did the talks, and we still live streamed. We recorded them all and publishing them on YouTube. So if you didn't make it to the show, you should be able to go watch the community sessions.
It's on social, but we can share here as well. We have we live stream I think Code is on YouTube and somewhere else, maybe on Twitter, right, Frankie? YouTube and Twitter. We live stream the community sessions on our community page on Broadcom. So we have a live page on Broadcom that's still there on demand, and you don't have to be logged in to watch and have access to that. It's not gated, so it's available to everybody. If you go to communities.broadcom.com/VMware Explore Live, you can find all those sessions there. And we also have them on YouTube, but it's cooler if you can go to Broadcom, to our community umbrella under Broadcom now, and watch it there.
Community.broadcom.com. Yeah.
Yes.
Community.broadcom.com, and there is an Explore tab now, and you can go watch the community sessions. So we didn't lose anything because V Brownbag wasn't there. We did the same kind of thing, and now we've just integrated into our community site, community.broadcom.com, which is great. Good job. That was a lot of work by community members, and thanks to those who didn't do it. Tony, we got 1 minute left, so I'm gonna then we're gonna wrap this up because I got other things to do. So barbecue. Any barbecue lately? I haven't done any barbecue.
Yes, I did barbecue last night, so it's time for another one of Tony's crazy barbecue stories. I did fish sandwiches last night on the barbecue. So I took the little frozen fish planks, threw them on the grill, got those cooked, threw a couple of pickles on them, threw some pepper jack cheese on them, toasted my buns nicely on the grill, slid them off, put them on there, and had awesome fish fish sandwiches that would definitely beat anything you could get at a restaurant when it comes to fish.
That's
That sounds
awesome.
good.
That's awesome. That sounds good. I'm on a diet because I'm finally getting rid of the COVID weight. So now that I'm gonna get COVID, I think I got to lose about 40 more pounds, and then I can start eating barbecue again. Right. But right now I'm still on the wagon. So there
Let's
you
go
go.
paleo diet. Then you can
Mhm,
eat all the
mhm.
meat you can.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm looking forward to some ribs again. I haven't done ribs in like
Oh.
3 months now, and it's like, oh, I'm hungry for everything though because I'm on a diet. So we'll just wait. We'll just wait. That sounds good. Barbecued fish sticks to make a fish sandwich.
No, they were actual fish planks. They weren't just the little
They
sticks.
weren't the little sticks. They were actually pieces of fish. Got it. All right.
Yes, they were branded and everything and came out of a Ziploc baggie, but
I didn't know what a fish plank was, so I just assumed it was a fish stick, right? Julia
similar
Klaus,
but bigger.
Frankie Berrigan, Tony Foster, and myself. Thanks a lot for being here. We'll try to get some guests coming back on weekly. I know we took a month off while we were getting through Explorer, but now that we're back, we're going to try to make it intentional to show up every week. So thanks for listening, and we'll be back again next week. Thanks, guys.
Bye bye. Thank you all.